Good morning. It is time for our Ready to Run class. So it's just going to be a quick 20-minute class helping you to get some strength and flexibility into your feet, balancing out the muscles of the legs, making sure that they're all working in harmony to ensure that when you're running, you're getting the most out of that activity and reducing your risk of injury, of aches and pains and joint damage. Okay, so good morning if you're here. Hi Ruth, good morning. So we're going to be starting in a moment. All you're going to need is a safe, clear working area and something that you can use for a little bit of support. So a sturdy chair, kitchen countertop, something like that. You're not going to need a huge amount of space, but you are going to need to be able to take your leg out to the side, to the back and all the way around. Okay, so we'll start in a moment. Obviously with these classes, because if there's people hopping on, I've never met you before, I haven't done a health screening form with you, so if you're not sure, if you're nursing an injury or you've got an issue at the minute, it might be best to just check that if this is safe and appropriate for you to do. Okay, so what I don't want to do is make anything worse and aggravate anything, so please do make sure you're fit and well before you do this. Okay, so we're going to work this morning through from the feet upwards towards the hips. We're going to be doing some moves slowly and then we will do them a little bit faster and get some reps in, okay? Because what we want to do is feel a little bit of muscle burn, alright? So it's just going to be nice and quick. We're going to start with a very quick warm-up. We'll finish with some stretches and a bit of a cool down, but in the middle we're going to be working quite hard. Okay, hope you're ready for this. Right, first of all, don't need your chair or your bar, whatever it is that you're using to hold on to. You're going to stand with your feet hip distance, standing tall, and I want you to just try and think of that pelvis coming into neutral. So check that you're not squeezing your bum to do that. You should be able to stand tall without really feeling anything switching on. Okay, so start to notice your feet. Where's the pressure in your feet? Is it all in your heels? Where in your heels? Is it the inside, the outside? Are you right in the middle? Okay, let's focus into our breath. I'd like you to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now we need to get this good breath. That's what's going to help you keep the oxygen supply to all those muscles when you're running. So sometimes when you've been running, you start to get a little bit shallow breathing up into the shoulders and you're going like this as you run. Okay, then you get achy shoulders, you run out of breath and you get cramp. So big breaths. Right, we're going to take the arms forwards. Running on the spot, sort of. These are called foot pedals. So you're going to lift one heel. Now push your heel forwards, draw the elbow back. Keep your shoulder down. Roll that down through the foot, changing sides. So we're just going to go side to side. And I want you to really lift that heel and feel that you get a stretch in the underneath of your foot. So these are called foot pedals and it's a great way to warm up the feet before doing lots of different types of exercise. Just notice what's happening with your feet as well as you do this. Are you pressing over into your little toe? So you should, if we're running, you're going to be pressing off your big toe as you run. So we should be pressing through the middle toe, and then if we went to run, you'd push then into the big toe. So just make sure you're not pressing out into that little toe. We're going to do one more each foot, just waking those feet up. Okay, from there, peel up. Now we're going to lift the knee. Take the opposite arm up, roll it back down. Peel up, lift the knee, roll back down. I want you to think about your stabilising side as well. Spread your toes out, plant that foot. Okay, press down through your middle toe. One more each side. And down. So we're back to hip distance. What we're going to do now is some little squats. I just want you to press into your heels and send your knees over your toes. Think that you're sitting into a chair. You're going to lower your hips. Notice what's switching on for me. Are you feeling glute activation, hamstrings and quads? Okay, so if you're quite a quad dominant person, as I know a lot of runners are, I want you to really focus on lowering those hip bones to feel the switch on at the back here. So we're going down and up. One more. Right, let's switch those hips on. We're going to start with feet together for this one. I want you to pull up tight, squeeze your knees together. Can you feel that inner thigh switch on? Okay, from there, we're going to take the arms out to the side, slide the leg out and pull it back in. Keep growing tall, slide that leg out and draw back in. I want you to feel some activation here, right at the side of the hip and back down. One more. And down. Let's go to the other side. Slide out. Now pull those knees together as you come back down. So outside of the thigh and hip, inner thigh. Gliding out and back in. One more. And in. Right. Now, from there we're going to add in a lift. Let's glide out. Now, can you squeeze that hip a bit more and stay upright? Lift that leg. And back down. Same side. Glide out. Lift. Down. And in. Again, notice where you're feeling that for me. I want you to feel the burn more around the back here. If you're feeling it here, that's your TFL. That's going to get really tight. So if that's the case, think of pushing your legs slightly on a diagonal behind you. So we're going out, lift, and in, gliding out. Lift that leg, and in. Two more. And back down. Last one. And down. Great. Now you're going to need your chair or whatever it is you're using for a bit of support. We're going to start facing it. Now we're using it just for a bit of support. I don't want you to grab it and depend on it. I want you to try and do without it as much as you can. So we're going to start feet hip distance again. Hands just resting softly onto that chair. Shoulders down and wide. We're going to lift both heels now. Spread those toes out, lift the heels and pull up. Roll back down with control. Now, did you rock towards your chair? If you did, keep it smaller. Focus on pulling up through the feet, through the heels, through the calves. Lift the heels away from the floor, spread the toes out. So very light touch. You should be able to do this without. So this is really strengthening the arches of the feet and those calves. Now we're going to stay high on this one. Let's stay here. You're going to go back to those foot pedals but from the top. So we're going to press one heel down, now pull up. Press the other heel down, pull up. This heel, push it forwards. Get a really good stretch in those toes. Press and up. So again, you're focusing on going over that middle toe for me. Make sure those knees are going forward so you can have a bit of a glance down. What we don't want are those knees dropping inwards. Right, we're ready to go a bit quicker. We're going to press and press. Really pull up in the middle. Up and up. Up and up. So just a soft touch to the floor. Don't bang that heel into the floor. Want to keep it nice and soft. Not depending on that bar, so if you can, just start to hover those hands. If you can't, just keep them lightly resting on. We'll get that strength up. One more each leg, and then come back to that rise for me. Right, let's take those arms up. Can you hold that balance? rolling back down. Okay, we're going to go into a move called hip rolls now. So I want you to really focus on getting your hamstrings, glutes and quads all working here. We're going to bend the knees, make sure they're going over your toes. Keep your hips where they are, use those calves, pull your heels off the floor. Now push up, roll back down. We'll do that again nice and slowly. Bend the knees, over your toes, lift the heels, pull up, roll back down. We'll do that one more time slowly and then we're going to go a bit faster. Up and down. Okay, a little bit quicker now if you'd like to. Stay slow if you need to practice that technique. Bend and heels, up and down. Bend and heels, up and down. Bend and heels, up and down. So you're really trying to pull up tall. Again, trying not to pull towards your bar. Think of a nice vertical line. Are you getting those hamstrings activating? Are they both working? Maybe you've got a bit of an imbalance side to side. So just be mindful of that. Feel what's happening. Let's do 2 more. Now this last one we're going to stay on the rise. So you're going to pull up. Now we're going to step one leg back. Lunge, push your heel down, feel that calf stretch. Step back in. Press back. Step in. So you're easing that heel down towards the floor. Try not to just thump it down. We want to ease into a stretch. Stretch and pull up. Last one. And up. Okay, let's lower those heels. Right, I'm going to turn to face you. We're going to do single leg. Right, so just bending one knee, take the other hand onto your hip. I want you to feel that your hips stay level as we do this. Try not to press yourself up with that chair. Okay, light touch. Spread those toes out, lift your heel, pull up and down. Up and down. And just notice if your ankle feels wobbly. If it does, keep it smaller. Build up the strength and then you can build up your range of movement. 2 more. Last one. Okay, let's take that leg back. Now you're going to hinge forward slightly. Hips staying level still, single leg lunge. Now keep an eye on this knee. We'll do it slowly. Try and avoid doing this. So if your knee turns in, your hip pushes out. Just keep it smaller. So knees going over the toes. Push back up. Down into that lunge and up. Again, try not to rely on the chair. Very, very light touch. It's just there if you need it. It's not a deep lunge. And again, feel what's working, what isn't working. Have you got your hamstrings switching on? Quads switching on? Glutes switching on? 2 more. Last one. Okay, well done. Right, we're going to do those to the other side. So, comfortable distance away, so you've just got light touch on there. Right, we're bending that knee, hand onto your hip, keep those hips level for me. You might find you're different on this side, don't be surprised, very common. Right, we're pulling up because I know this is my weaker side. Pulling up, I'm trying not to push off that chair. And down. And again, think of pulling up rather than rocking forwards. With control. Last 2. One more. Okay, let's take that leg back. Hinge forward slightly, shoulders are just slightly forward, tall spine. We're going to bend that knee. Is it going over your toes? And back up. So you might feel that this hip starts to work. Okay, you're feeling your glute work. Hamstrings working. Lower and push. So it's the lowering with control that we really need, making sure that knee isn't going inwards. Last two. One more. And down. Fantastic. Right. From there, we're going to focus a little bit more on the hips now. So I'm actually going to move my chair a little bit further that way because I need a bit of space at the side now. So what I'd like you to do is stand so that you can just reach your chair. Okay. And we're actually going to turn the legs out. So heels together, squeeze round from your hips. Now we're going to slide that leg out to the side, lift your heel off the floor. Can you feel your arch work? Now you're going to lean over, take your arm onto the top of that chair. Now lengthen the spine, so try not to scrunch down into it, lengthen. I want you to work here. We're going to lift that leg, try and keep it turned out and down. Lift, tap to the floor. Lift and tap. We're going for 4 more. And 3, 2. Now this last one you're going to hold for me with control. Can you give me some little circles? 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go the other way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Toe down. Turn back to parallel. We're going to do a similar exercise. We're not going to tilt over though. So staying in parallel, we're going to slide that leg out to the side. Now I want you to invert it. So turn from the hip, knee inwards, heel pointing diagonally back. Make sure you stay square to the front. Flex your foot. Now you're going to push that heel slightly behind you. We're going for 4 more. And 3, 2, hold circles, little circles, keep it behind you. Is your standing leg aching? Other way. 3, 2, 1, and back in. Right, let's do the other leg. So I'm moving that chair across. Arm's length, well, not arm's length, but you know, you can just reach without bending. Feet in first position, so turn down, okay? Switch those hips on. Let's take the leg out to the side, lift the heel so that you've got your arch activated. Come down onto the chair, lengthen the spine. Right, we're going to lift and tap. Make sure that lift is coming from here. Some of you might be feeling a bit more activation here at the front. If you are, just take that leg ever so slightly back, just a smidgen, till you feel this muscle work instead. We're going to do 4 more. 3, 2, and remember we're holding this last one. Let's hold and circle. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way around. And let's come back in. Okay, turning back to parallel now. Let's take that leg out to the side, turn it in. Okay, make sure that comes from the hip, not your knee. Let's flex that foot, push it ever so slightly back. Staying really tall. Practice that breathing as well here. Big breath in. Last two. Let's hold little circles from the heel, round. Other way. And in. Okay, are your hips on fire? Let's give them a quick stretch out. So holding onto that chair, cross one leg over the other, come down into a stretch. So try not to scrunch down into it. Think of lengthening the spine so you can get some good breath in. Gently apply some pressure just to make sure that you do get that stretch. And then pushing up, we'll change legs. Okay, coming across, sit down, apply that pressure. Holding that stretch, breathing into it, and coming back up. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more on hamstrings now. So you're going to need a bit of space behind you. I'm going to stand feet hip distance, and you don't want to be able to quite reach that chair. The legs are going to go out behind you. So feet hip distance, stand tall. Engage your core, because what I don't want you to do is bend in this. So keep your tummy pulled in so that your back doesn't arch. Right, we're going to tilt forwards till you can hold that bar. Shoulder width, so don't get all rounded, shoulder width. Now let's slide one leg out behind us, lift. Okay, you're going to tilt further over. If you can, you're going to try and make a straight line. Now flex that foot, curl your heel in. Don't let your knee drop. Curl in, stretch. If you let that knee drop, you're not going to get hamstrings working. 4 and 3, 2. Now last one, we're going to hold this curl. Hold. Now push your heel up to the ceiling. Don't lose that bend in your knee. 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch it out and come back up. Right, other leg. So hinging forward, tall spine. Let's slide that leg out. Start to lift the toe, tilt over. I want you to feel that glute switch on. So don't let your leg just be down here and your glute relaxed. Switch it on. Flex the foot. Let's curl in. Stretch out. Try and keep that knee as high as you can. 4, 3, 2, hold this one, keep that bend in the knee, push. Okay, it might be tempting to sort of do that and push out that way, up to the ceiling. Keep that knee really bent. Last one, stretch the leg out, and up we come. Right, that's the hard work bit done. A little bit of stretching now, okay? So, facing your bar, you're going to step one leg back, ease the heel down. Now, bend that back knee. I want you to feel that stretch go into your Achilles tendon. That's the one right at the back of your heel. Step onto that front leg, pick up your back leg, knees together, now tuck your pelvis under. Okay, if your back's arched, you're not going to get that stretch. Pull your tummy in. And release. Let's do that to the other side. Step back, heel down, calf stretch. Now with a lot of these moves today, you've been stretching one muscle as you've been contracting the other. Right, let's bend that knee, Achilles tendon stretch. and then step onto it. Grab hold. Pelvis tucked under, knees together. And release. Right, stepping away from the chair. We're going to cross one leg over the other. Take the arms up, breath in. Now you're going to come forwards and down. Keep your feet anchored into the floor. And make sure that you don't push your hips back. Keep your hips over your ankles. So it can be very tempting with this to kind of sway back into your heels. Make sure you're pressed into your toes as well. And then coming back up. Let's cross the legs the other way. Coming up. Forwards, nod the chin. Curl down. Anchor those feet, make sure you've got some pressure into your toes as well as your heel. Try and stay forwards. And coming back up. And down. Back to the chair for the last one. Hands wide. You're going to step your legs back and wide. Push your hips back. Stretch those hamstrings out. Now if you haven't got sciatic issues, you can come up onto your heels, deepen that stretch. And lower down, soften, come in. And you're done. Well done, thank you for joining me this morning. We'll be doing this class again on Wednesday morning at 8:30. So if you'd like to join us, you'd be very, very welcome. Love to see you there.